So you're about to start training Muay Thai or MMA or some other fighting sport, but you don't know what to buy? But I'll show you all the gear that you need and don't need. Let's go. You need something to wear, okay? What you wear if you're Thai boxing or kickboxing is very simple. Don't make it difficult. You go to your drawer, you just grab any pair of shorts that you have that are loose fitted. What you do is you wear them and then you try to spread your legs. And if you can spread your legs without them getting stuck onto your thighs, if you can freely move your legs, those are good shorts. You don't have to buy Muay Thai shorts unless you really feel like it. This is a little secret for you guys. Most of us who train Muay Thai every day don't wear Muay Thai shorts every day. We wear them for fights or on special occasions. But everyday shorts are just wear and tear shorts. So if you're just training, this is all you need. Just a basic pair of shorts. Because you're gonna tear through a lot of these. And you don't want to tear through all those expensive Muay Thai shorts. So buy a nice pair, but have a lot of these so you can have them for wear and tear. Now, in terms of your shirt, you need to wear something like that, which is kind of tight, but not really tight after all. The best thing is a singlet, like, you know, a tank top. In America, you call it a tank top. In Australia, you call it a singlet. And in Sweden, we call it a linne. So that's what you wear. But make sure it's tightly fitted. And for girls who are training, I really recommend you wear a sports bra because you will need it, especially when you clinch. It's something that holds everything together tightly so people don't get stuck on your clothes. That's very important. If you're training submission grappling or MMA, something like a rash guard, but it doesn't have to be a rash guard. It can actually be something like this, which I bought from a sports shop, which is fairly, if you have a look, fairly tightly fitted. It is loose, but when we roll, it kind of holds everything together well. It would be better if this was a size or two smaller. I used to be a little bit bigger, a little bit rounder. I've gotten thinner lately, so this is the best I have right now. But yeah, tighter is better. If you're training MMA and submission wrestling, any wrestling at all, you do want pants that are not shorts like these. Rather, something like these, like tightly fitted. These are from Under Armour. I really like Under Armour. That's a really good brand. They make quality stuff. And so basically that's what I wear. So if you have a look, this is what I wear for fighting, for submission wrestling. Tight, and preferably tight, and always tuck your shirt in so no one gets stuck in your clothes when you're wrestling. What else type of gear do you need apart from your clothing? Let's say when we're wrestling, the very first thing you would see, a mouth guard. So they would have the mouth guard in here, in their pants like that, and then they would use it like that, and then would just grab it and put it in their mouth. So that's very important to have, a mouth guard. In terms of what brand, that's up to you, but these are also wear and tear. Like we use a lot of these and throw them away and they're cheap. So the cheapest brand is usually really good. Like you don't have to buy the really expensive stuff. If you are going to buy the expensive stuff, you might as well go to your dentist and ask for real stuff, like really good stuff that are actually tailor-made for your teeth. Other than that, like the cheapest brands are good enough. They do the job. So buy 3 or 4 of those. And the important thing is you have to boil these, okay? There are videos online. I can link to one of them up here. All you do is you just follow the steps in that video, boil them, and put them into your bag once you're done, and you've got a few to use. If you lose one, you can pick out the next one. So I'm gonna list the must-haves first. And you must have a cup. This is the cup that I wear. See, is one of these. It just goes like that. I just wear it. So you just basically pull it up and wear it underneath. I like the ones that you wear, kind of like drawers or underwear. You just pull them up and they sit tightly. Those are the kind of newer types, but back in the day, we used to have Thai cups. Thai cups are the types that you put on and then you have to tie them around and behind. Those are a little bit more difficult, but for fights, for actual competitions, I definitely recommend you wear one of those because they sit so much better and they're much safer. They don't break. And you must have boxing gloves. I always like leather. Leather will cost you more, but it will also last you much longer and it will smell much better because synthetic, it really smells like a toilet. Like you don't want synthetic. But if you can't afford anything else, at least, buy the cheapest you have, start somewhere. If you can, definitely put the money into your boxing gloves. But you have to have boxing gloves. It's really hard, even on your first day, to train without boxing gloves. But an added little side note there, most gyms have like a whole shelf full of borrowed or used or pre-used boxing gloves that are just laying around for beginners to start training with until they buy their own. If you don't have enough money to buy your own to begin with, don't use that as an excuse to not train. Go to the gym. The very first thing you need is just something to wear, and I promise you most gyms will help you out with the stuff that you can borrow until you can afford buying your own. And that's the same all around the world. Any gym you go to, they have stuff to borrow you. I promise you that. You have to have shin pads. And this is the same for both Thai boxing, MMA, or whatever else you train that has boxing and kicking. So kickboxing, Thai boxing, MMA, we all use the same gear, which is boxing gloves and shin pads. Now there are various types of shin pads. If you have a look at these ones, you see they are a little bit flatter. Okay, they're not as rounded. They're not really fitted as the shape of a leg. Whereas the newer forms that have been around, at least for the last 10 years, or maybe a little bit more, but the last 10 years they've been really going up in popularity. And these are the rounded types that are shaped more to your leg. Even the foot pad is rounded and shaped for a foot. And also, they don't sit flat like that. They actually sit, as you see, a little bit more up like that. So these are perfect. I really love these. I personally love Twins. This is a Thai brand that has been around for ages, and I love it. That's the brand I prefer before anything else. Fairtex is also really good, also a Thai brand, but I'm a little bit nostalgic because I've been around for ages, so I kind of like Twins. They've been around ever since I was a kid, so I love them. They cost you a little bit more, but definitely worth the money. Definitely must have something to wrap your wrists with. Wrist wraps, like that. One of the cheapest things you can buy, but you definitely need them. Whether you train MMA or Muay Thai or kickboxing, doesn't matter. You will definitely wrap your wrists because you do want to not get injured in your wrists. The parts that you actually want to cover and protect are your knuckles and your wrist itself. So you don't bend your wrist when you're punching and then you'll have that really nasty sprain on your wrist for at least a month or two, and that's not fun. But when you put your hand into a boxing glove, your thumb is very protected already. So make sure to have the coaches teach you how to wrap your wrists, or if you want, watch this video up here and you'll have a really good instruction on how to wrap your wrist. Another thing you must have is a water bottle. I prefer these protein shakers because in the bottom I usually have a little container where I can use my protein powder or whatever else you prefer to have. Maybe you like to have a pre-workout or something like that in it. Either way, I like these. Simple, they're big, they hold a lot of water, and it's easy for me to just flip it up, drink, and smash it back down, that nothing spills out of that. So these are good. Now something else that you must absolutely have is a bag. Do get a bag that has a lot of space, enough for boxing gloves, your shin pads, your mouth guard, Maybe you want to have your clothing in there. Maybe you came from work and you want to get dressed at the gym and not come ready dressed like some people do. Actually, a lot of people do. You also want to have a towel in there. And most gyms have lockers, and some of them require you to bring your own lock. So definitely do bring your own lock. I use one. Actually, I have two, because at some gyms I use two lockers if they have them available, because I have a lot of stuff with me. So I always bring two of these. So I'll do a little recap for you. What you must have when you begin with is something to wear. You need a cup. You need boxing gloves. You need shin pads. And you need a mouth guard. That's it. Even when you are training MMA, you always prefer to have boxing gloves over MMA gloves. It is very rare in an MMA gym that we use MMA gloves when training. You really don't need MMA gloves unless you're fighting, and in that case you can always borrow a pair as well. But what you cannot be without are boxing gloves, because you can't spar without boxing gloves, and you definitely need sparring. That's all the gear you need to have. If you took anything from this video, remember this: shin pads, boxing gloves, mouth pad, and a cup. Those are the only things you actually need to have in order to train. And the only things you can't borrow is the mouth guard and a cup. So if you have a pair of shorts and a t-shirt, a mouth guard and a cup, you can go work out. I wish you all the best. Train hard, fight easy. I'll see you next time.
Yeah.